with your host, Dwan B. Intelligent-ish talk, intelligent shit talk, where we balance the profound with the profane. Political satire, celebrity and expert guests, information and entertainment, conversation and solutions. Leave your feelings at the door.
What up, y'all? What up, y'all? Welcome to Hotepish / Incense and Ashtrays. It's kind of a hybrid show because y'all know Incense and Ashtrays is my music show where we talk music, and Hotepish is where we talk current events and talk about what's going on in society, particularly black society. This one here is kind of a mashup. I will be uploading this. I'm going to keep it here on YouTube, but I will be uploading this to Spotify, my Incense and Ashtrays Spotify account. So y'all can go back and listen to the replay on Spotify. Please go on over to Spotify. The link is in my bio, in the description bar, in the link tree. Because, you know, music is a passion of mine. It's a love of mine. And I do some dope interviews. I got some dope interviews coming on Incense and Ashtrays. I've just been so busy with other things. I haven't had the opportunity to interview too many artists. But I got about 3 or 4 artists lined up to interview so we can get really in depth on music and talk some real deep music stuff. But today we talking about J and Bay, cultural icons or cultural opportunists. Thought about this subject from after listening, last week to that new song that Jay-Z has with Nas and Khalid, Sorry Not Sorry. And I listened to the words, I listened to what the song was talking about. And we here in 2021, America's gone through a lot. Black people have gone through a lot. And usually one signature of black music, especially the black icons of our music, they generally have a good message for us. A message to help us get through our struggling times. Every previous generation. See, I'm a millennial. I'm the first year millennial. I'll be 40 next month. My millennial generation is the quote unquote icons of our time. They kind of need, over the last 10 years since Trayvon Martin happened, they kind of left us hanging. So I want to dive in to Jay and Bay. I say Bay. I call y'all the Bay Hive. I know it's Beyonce, but I call y'all the Bay Hive because the Bay Hive say B-E-Y. B-E-Y is Bay. Nigga, ask the Moors. Nigga. So I want to do an honest dive. I'm going to be honest on both ends. They've done a lot of great things, and I'll be forthcoming and honest about that. But they've also done a lot of bullshit. And people who see music objectively can see the bullshit. The stands and the hives, that's, you know, they see what they want to see. So if you are in the Beehive or Bayhive or if you're a Jay-Z man stan, you probably won't like this broadcast. But for those of you who can separate your affinity for an artist from the facts of what that artist has done, this episode will be quite informative. And I will be doing a Q&A later on towards the end, after I get what I got to say out. So I will be asking y'all questions, or I'll allow y'all to ask me questions, and then we can have a discussion later on. So if you have anything interesting that you want to add to what we're talking about here, save it for later on and we'll get into it. You dig? What's up, everybody in the chat room? BK, Tosh Henry, Deep Impressions. Thank y'all for joining us. Raven Smith, Midnight Green. Yeah. Nashville checking in. Oh, you got a nigga from Nashville. He about to, I know you got something to say about this being from Nashville. Oh, Grand Ole Opry ass nigga. Bowling some LA 65th and Broadway. Oh, that's shit. It's not too far from where I grew up. Slauson and Broadway. If you go, remember, I don't know if you've been in LA long enough. Back in the 80s, they had that Gadberry's barbecue on Slauson and Broadway. On Broadway, because now it's an empty lot right there, but it used to be a Shell gas station, and then that Gadberry's barbecue. If you from LA, you know what I'm talking about. That was the shit. Now that Gadberry's barbecue is like a mattress store. They sell a whole bunch of faulty ass mattresses there now. I know because I bought one and that thing wasn't shit. Yeah. Niagara Falls in the building. Midi A, what up? What up, Jamal? What's up, Joseph? Lamont, William Jones, what up, y'all? Yeah, West Texas in the building. Are you from Lubbock? I've driven through Lubbock before. That's not too far from Wichita Falls, Texas. I remember my first time riding with my parents to Vegas, driving from LA. We went through Lubbock. I think it was Lubbock. Yeah, it was Lubbock. I got family out there in Lufkin, Texas. That's East Texas. Yeah. But thank y'all again for joining us here on Hotepish. Intelligent-ish talk, intelligent shit talk. He said real barbecue from where from. Look, if it's a grill, wood, and meat, it's a real barbecue. Texas got some good barbecue. Kansas got good barbecue. Memphis got good barbecue. And I got good barbecue, goddammit. Right here in LA. Shouts out to Woody's Barbecue. That's the shit. Black LA got a fight. The Black LA fight is it Woody's Barbecue or Phillips? They cousins. If you from LA, you're gonna be like, are you fucking with Woody's or are you fucking with Phillips? Me personally, I fuck with the Woody's side of the game. What's up, Emmanuel Heath? Yeah. So we're gonna get into this. remember to, first off, before we get started, remember my book, No Time to Waste, a self-motivation guidebook. Get that right now. Right now in the link tree. It's only $8.88. And if you want deeper information, get the full webinar. It's only $29.99. And with the webinar, you get my point of view from where I wrote this book and how to apply this book, how I applied it for myself, and strategies on how to apply it for yourself, along with bonus materials. Now, let's see here. I appreciate that, Reno. Yeah, I try to bring the knowledge. What's up, Donna Domily? What's up? Yeah, hit that like button. Donna from LA. She said both. You said both Woodies and Phillips. So I think Phillips may do their meat a little better, but Woody's got that sauce. Woody's got the best barbecue sauce I've ever had from anywhere in the country. And I've had barbecue all across this country. Ain't nobody fucking with Woody's sauce. Yeah. So I try hippie ad. Light them trees up. Light them trees up. I'm in the house. I don't smoke in the house. That's why I be doing my live Q&As from the garage, from my man cave, aka the garage. That's my smoke studio out there. I still might do a live Q&A tonight later on. We'll see how I feel. But we hear J and Bay, cultural icons or opportunists. This is something, here's the reason why this subject is important to me. Oh, shit, we got somebody here from France. Shouts out. Uli vous couchez avec soi. Whatever the hell Patti LaBelle was saying in that song. Itchy gitchy ya ya ya. What's up, France? Itchy gitchy ya ya ya. I don't know what she was saying. Free your lady mama lot. What's up, nigga? But yeah. What's up, Evan? Yeah, we here, but like, here's the reason why I'm bringing this subject up. Why, Dwan, are you talking about J and B? Why are they subjects? They don't have any new albums out. They haven't really done or said anything. Why are you bringing them up? Well, I'm bringing them up because as a people, we have to constantly revise and take note, or how should I say, refinance our relationship with our quote unquote icons. We have to constantly be looking at the people that are held up to speak for us. We have to constantly be in question mode. Do they speak for us, or do they speak for themselves, or do they speak for a society that's against us? You can't just look at somebody and say they did something 20 years ago, they're still good today. Unfortunately. Because we live here in the United States of America. And here in the United States of America, black people are told the people we need to look up to are our athletes and entertainers. We're told by the dominant society, the people who do the best for us and the most for us and the people who speak for us are the people who write music and dunk a basketball. Or in Beyonce's case, sings music other people wrote and takes the credit for it. We got to constantly be in question mode of the people that they put on camera to speak for us. Jay-Z and Beyonce both got off to early good starts in their careers. They both made a lot of music for us to dance and have a good time to. They also have done a lot of, how can I say this? They've taken a lot of privilege with the music they've taken from other artists. It's no secret by now, all the lines Jay-Z took from other artists as the nucleus to his music. And we all know Beyonce has been Captain Still a Song and Wait for You to Sue Me, just for me to settle out of court and have you sign an NDA saying that you can never speak on the music she stole from you. You know what I'm talking about. This is no secret. This is no secret. The only people who have a problem with this are those who are caught completely up in the fandom of who these two are. Me personally, the reason why this is an issue is because of what I value. For me, is because of what I value in music. Now, everyone has their own values in music. That's why I don't argue with people over who's the greatest artist, who's the top 5 rapper, who's the best dancer. There's no argument because we all have our preferences. We all have the parts that we enjoy about music, and they may be different than what other people enjoy. Me personally, I enjoy and have the highest respect for those who come completely original. You know, I prefer people who took inspiration from what others did and sort of remix it into their own. But when you just flat out take a line from what someone else says verbatim, and then you sort of color around it with your lyrics, Jay-Z, I can't put you next, me personally. Y'all may have different points of view. But me personally, I can't put that next to an Ice Cube, who I can hear the inspiration of other music flipped into his own words. I can't put that next to a KRS-One, to a Kendrick Lamar, to real lyricists who took the time to make the music authentically theirs. Let me go a little further. And I'm setting you guys up before I get all the way into it from my point of view. I'm giving you my point of view, okay? If this isn't your point of view, then this isn't your point of view. But this is my point of view. And I encourage all people to get in touch with their genuine point of view and be proud to express your genuine point of view, because your genuine point of view is valid. Just make sure your point of view ain't based in what other people say. That's not a point of view. That's you being a sheep. Make sure your point of view is always authentically yours, based off your experience and what you observed, and maybe what have heard, but it's a conclusion that you've drawn. That's my point of view. That's where my point of view comes from. It comes from my experience and what I've seen and what I've heard. Another level to this is, from my point of view, is artists over time, since the beginning of recorded music, the icons of generations generally wrote or performed a song or album that shifted our focus as a people back to what's wrong in our society and giving solutions on how to fix it. Billie Holiday, Strange Fruit, 1937. I talked about this yesterday a little bit. It inspired people to ignore the lynchings of black men, specifically black business owners, and do something about it. Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud, James Brown. Funky President, James Brown. Man in the Mirror, Michael Jackson. Heal the World. They Don't Really Care About Us. Marvin Gaye, What's Going On? Stevie Wonder, Songs in the Key of Life. Kendrick Lamar, To Pimp a Butterfly. NWA, Straight Outta Compton. Ice Cube, Death Certificate. KRS-One, Nas, Illmatic. King's Disease. We can go down the line of all-time great artists taking time out of their busy music career to write something that pushes us forward as a people. Have Beyonce and either Beyonce or Jay-Z done that? I remember when 444 came out. I liked 444. You know, I'm not at first. I'm not against Jay-Z, but I remember when it came out, I was like, even when you listen to it on the surface level, yeah, he's saying things, but I was like, okay, Jay-Z, you telling people to save their money now, but you bragging about it, but you didn't say this back when we needed you to. These last 20 years, there's been mass gentrification in black neighborhoods nationwide. And when we still owned the hood in 2003, 2005, 2008, we were being told by our quote unquote icons to spend our money on frivolous bullshit. We were being told life is about the image, not the substance. It's almost as if Jay's music was taking us 180 degrees in the opposite direction of where we needed to be going. Now he comes out with a new song where he's talking about, with the song he did with Nas and Khalid, and I don't know what the fuck DJ Khalid does. Other people produce the music, other people write the music, sing the music. All he do is say his fucking name I don't know what the hell Khaled does. He's another story. He's a whole nother story. Old fake deep ass. Every time he... And do y'all ever hear Khaled's fake deep stories? No, man. If you want to be inspired, you know what you got to do, man. You got to wake up in the morning. And when you wake up in the morning, you'll be inspired. Yo, that's deep. Khaled, did you just say some simple shit and pass it off to us as if it's some deep shit? Y'all have heard Khaled interviews. No, man. See, what I'm saying is, if we need to come together, man, and if we thirsty, if we just drink some water, some Gatorade, we be good. Nigga, that's your quote. that was your inspiration to us, Khaled? No, man, what I'm saying is, if you just save your money and get your car insurance through Geico, you'll have more money in your pocket and you'll feel smarter. Come up, Khaled. Come on, for real, dog. Khaled is a culture vulture like a motherfucker. He has not added nothing to the music. But he has said, okay, you producer over here, I want you to do a song with that rapper. And I'm going to have you use my exposure to get your song out. What the fuck is Khaled? What is his job? You heard about that Kingsbury Jay-Z's 444 is basically a ripoff of Hip Hop Is Dead, just remixed. But Hip Hop Is Dead came out like when people needed it. You know? Jay-Z and Beyonce. Beyonce is somebody who I heard people when I posted this question up on Instagram, I had people mention, they said, well, Beyonce did that King video, whatever the hell it was. I saw it. That was confusing the hell out of me. And it was a beautiful video, you know, for what it was. But what I'm saying is music. What is your impact? See, Aretha Franklin's, out of all the Grammys and all of the songs that she sang, Aretha's impact is respect. That song was about the civil rights movement and how the dominant society is going to have to respect us. That's Aretha Franklin's legacy. When she was at the height of her powers, she wrote a song called Think. You better think about what you're trying to do to me. She told us we better think. To let our minds go, let ourselves be free. Can you put these two on that level? Given they haven't wrote or said or done anything to give back and show support to the people that have supported them since day one? Do we really want to call these people icons who haven't paid it forward? They've done a lot of bragging about what they have, what they can consume. They've talked a whole lot about what they can buy. They talked a lot about taking advantage of what the opposite sex has to offer them. Can you pay my bills? And then once the bills is paid, to the left. 99 problems. Do we want to put people who've basically consumed and taken from us on the level of those who've returned the favor and given back to us? Leo said Jay-Z and Bey are black Kardashians. Ha! I'm trying not to look at y'all comments right now so I can keep my mind focused on what I got to say. Then I'm going to get back to y'all. I'm doing my best not to look at y'all comments. I'm telling y'all that right now. I'm doing my best not to look at y'all comments because y'all say funny shit like this. Jay and Bey, black Kardashians. That's another good comment. Mackin said they helped push, Beyonce's helped push the modern woman narrative. See, these are the two that Barack Obama pushed out in front to validate his coolness. Barack Obama's way of showing us that he was on black people's side was to bring up his friendship with Jay-Z and Beyonce. I had someone tell me on my Instagram when I raised this question, are these icons opportunists? Someone on my Instagram said, well, Jay-Z, well, they donate money to organizations. Let me address that real quick, black people. We got to stop being $5 hoes. What do I mean by that? I mean, we have to stop allowing people to take advantage of us, lord over us, misrepresent us, mislead us, and have that be all okay because they donated a couple grand to an HBCU. We got to stop that $5 hoe mentality. What good is your donation to an HBCU if all you did was mislead people? Beyonce telling women to kick their man to the side while she stayed married after the nigga cheated. She told you, I can have another you in a minute. Matter of fact, he'll be here in a minute. That's what she told you, ladies. But when Jay did what a man does, she wrote a song, Lemonade. She had a little hot sauce, ran her fucking mouth, and went right back to that nigga. In 2002, 2003, when the money was coming pretty fast after 9/11, low interest rates, easy money to get, that was an opportunity for black society to shore up our ownership of the hood because houses were still affordable and loans were very easy to get at low interest rates. Instead of us buying the block the way James Brown told us to in Funky President, we listened to Jay-Z tell us to buy the bling, buy the car, buy the clothes. Just listen to his song 30 is the New 20. That's the most mature song I've ever heard in my life. I'm more mature because I have a better bra and a better automobile. Nigga, that's what makes you more mature? Huh? Oh, because you no longer buy rims, you now buy curtains for your Bentley. That's what makes you more popular. And the reason why I don't give Jay-Z a pass is because even back then he said it himself. I could rap like common sense, but it don't make the sense. In other words, it don't make the money. He told you 20 years ago. He got the messages to free your mind. But since the messages that free your mind don't put enough money in his pockets, he's going to tell you to bullshit your way through life. And then you get the Jay-Z fans, man, why is he supposed to talk about something that's going to help us, man? Shit, sometimes we just want to party. You sound like a 45-year-old, 5-year-old nigga. Party music with a message is as old as music is as old as time. You can have a message, or at least not some degenerate behavior, and still party at the same time. Stevie Wonder wrote Superstition, which was a party song of his time. Very superstitious. The writing's on the wall. When you believe in things you don't understand, then you suffer. Then maybe superstition ain't the way. That was a party song. Remember the Time, Michael Jackson. That was the hottest party song of 92. Listen to the words. First of all, Remember the Time by Michael Jackson. For those of you who are too young, do you know that was the first time in American cinema that the ancient Egyptians were shown as black? Michael Jackson wrote a party song that told you to remember the time, where you come from. And then he dropped a slick little line in there that went over a lot of people's heads. When Michael Jackson said, "Do you remember in Spain?" What about do you know why Michael Jackson dropped that line in there? Because he was telling you our time wasn't just in ancient Egypt. He reminded you of the Moors' control of Spain between the years 711 and 1492. Look it up. In Spain, the Moorish Empire, which had control over parts of North America right here. You think I'm bullshitting? Why is California named after a Moorish goddess, Khalifa? Queen Khalifa, warrior goddess. California is a Arabic name, not a Spanish name. Michael Jackson was telling you who you are. Yes, Michael had the skin bleaching, but let's tell the truth. The skin bleaching was from vitiligo. That's not me. That was said in his it was on his death certificate. And people want to act like Michael Jackson just bleached his skin because he didn't want to look black anymore. The reason why Michael Jackson wore the silver glove on Motown 25 when he did the moonwalk was because his hand was turning white. That's why the glove was on one hand and not both. This is in his medical history. Michael just had the money to put the rest of his skin the color of his skin that was bleaching due to vitiligo. Why am I saying this? Because the excuse Jay-Z and Beyonce fans give, especially Jay-Z fans, the excuse Jay-Z fans give is, Jay-Z wasn't, the government looked after him, man, he couldn't do that because he too big. Look, nigga, Jay-Z is not 1/10 of the icon Michael Jackson was. Jay-Z ain't half the icon Stevie Wonder is and was. They put it on the line. So why can't he? If Michael Jackson can put it on the line and say they don't really care about us, Jew me, sue me, everybody use me, those are the words that you can't be using in music. Michael Jackson said, okay, watch. You read about that, Bobby Elijah. It's crazy how people don't know about Michael Jackson's vitiligo in 2021. It's out there. It's on the nigga's literal medical history. But you want to act like he just was avoiding being black. You're right. Prince was also, man, Prince in the Revolution. Prince. I remember when the LA riots happened. Right when the LA riots happened was the weekend Prince dropped that video of Money Don't Matter Tonight. It sure didn't matter yesterday. Just when you think you have more than enough. Prince talked revolution. Prince changed his name from Prince to an icon to revolt against the music industry's ownership of his name. Prince went to the BET Awards and wrote slave on his cheek. And that's another thing. Prince and Michael Jackson actually supported the BET Awards when they were new. They supported the Soul Train Awards. They showed up for their people. Beyonce every year had a goddamn grandiose performance for the Grammys when she was at her height. But the minute it's time for the BET Awards, Soul Train Awards, you'd be lucky if she get a video. She sends in a video saying thank you. Oh, but Beyonce showed up for them Country Music Awards. Remember when she did the Country Music Awards? People forget this. Them country people were so mad at Beyonce for doing that Country Music Award. They played her part live, but on the Country Music Channel replays, they edited Beyonce's part out of the Country Music Awards. Oh, so you can show up to the white folks that don't want to fuck with you, but the black people, especially the black women who are your day ones, you can't go to the award show they can afford to get into? Don't talk to me about what you say. Show me what you do. I don't give a damn about what you say. What do you do? I'm saying this as a millennial because for my generation, for music, for me, if I want some substance, I gotta go back to the 70s. I gotta go back to 90s hip hop if I want some substance. 80s hip hop, 70s R&B if I want some substance. Why couldn't my generation get that substance either? This is what I'm pissed about. See, I'm a music historian too. Y'all know I don't talk too much about. That's why I have incense and ashtrays here so I can get more into my music. I'm a music historian. I know what we've had. So can no new jack tell me what we can't do? Let me say that again. I know what we've had. So can't no new jack tell me what I can't do or what can't be done. Because black folks have already done it. I deserved, as a black American, the artists of my generation, to give me something to push forward through the bullshit that we've had to deal with. Instead, I get somebody bragging about how many billions he got. Don't tell me what you can't do with a message. Earth, Wind, and Fire, their biggest hit is That's the Way of the World. They telling you how the world operates in music. Turned out to be their biggest hit ever. Earth, Wind, and Fire used their platform to drop ancient African metaphysical wisdom on us. Serpentine Fire. That was another very popular song that people danced to back in the day. For all you niggas out there that be like, I just want something to dance to and not think. Well, shit. Earth, Wind, and Fire did it. They gave you Serpentine Fire. A song about awakening the Kundalini experience. Taking off the walls of ancient Kemet and turned into a song. You mean to tell me after Trayvon Martin, Eric Gardner, Corinne Gaines, Sandra Bland, Matrice Richardson, you mean to tell me these two talented, because they're both talented. I'm not, again, let me make clear, I'm not taking away from Jay-Z and Beyonce's talent. I'm talking about them because they're talented. You will never hear me say these two are trash. You will never hear that come out of my mouth. They are both talented than a motherfucker. They may move in ways I don't necessarily agree with, but their talent level is unmistakable. But do you mean to tell me with all that talent, after living through what we've gone through as a people, you couldn't give me your version of Love's in Need of Love Today? See, back in 76, when the country was post-civil rights movement and the ghettos were being exacerbated, being messed up because of the money that left the ghetto because of white flight and the tax basis being taken away, Stevie Wonder wrote us Village Ghetto Land. See the people lock their doors while robbers laugh and steal. Babies dying before they're born, infected by disease. Some folks feel that we should be glad for what we have. But tell me how you can be happy in living in Village Ghetto Land. That spoke to the condition of the people in the major cities in 1976. Love's in need of love today. You mean to tell me these two artists couldn't flip that into their own version? We as a people have gone through a lot these last 10 years. So because I'm a millennial, the people at the head of my music generation can't give me anything to reflect what I'm going through, but they can tell me how much money they got? See, this is when I knew Jay-Z was all the way full of shit. I had my suspicions before, because I had some Jay-Z stand on my Facebook page the other day, was like, you always talking shit about Jay-Z, but you keep listening to him, no? Yes, nigga. Is that not the only way I can have an accurate description of what he does musically? I have to actually listen to know what the fuck I'm talking about, right? We needed our own version of The Ghetto by the OJs. Not talking about dealing drugs in the ghetto, but something to speak to how to survive in it. Gambling Huff literally spent all of the 70s writing major hit after major hit after major hit that uplifted us. From when they were with the Jackson 5, Show You the Way to Go, to their song with Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, Wake Up Everybody, to Family Reunion by the OJs. Look up Gambling Huff, the Philadelphia sound. All of that music fed our soul as black people. Why couldn't I get that from the quote unquote cultural icons of my generation? Curtis Mayfield. If there's a hell below, we're all going to go. Sly and the Family Stone. Don't call me nigga, Whitey. Frankie Beverly and Maze. Come on now. Is there any music or group more spiritual than Frankie Beverly and Maze? All of Frankie Beverly and Maze's hits and their B-sides, their non-hits, uplift a generation, uplift people. Makes us come together. Lovely inspiration. Reaching down inside. Happy feelings. The golden time of day. Listen to that song, Golden Time of Day by Frankie Beverly and Maze. That song, there's a time in your life when you look down inside, when you feel inside. There's a time in your life when you feel inside all of the love you're looking for. That's the golden time of day. He's telling you, the point of the day when you wake up and know who you are, love who you are, that's the moment you start living life. Gil Scott-Heron. The revolution will not be televised. Why won't the revolution be televised? Because the revolution is going to happen in your mind. That's the tradition of black music. A message imparted to the people to help the people get through to the next day. This is when I knew Jay-Z was full of shit. Y'all remember when he bought, quote unquote, bought the New Jersey Nets, and that was his basketball team? Some of y'all may be too young to remember, but for those who or may not have been around, but when Jay-Z bought, quote unquote, bought the Nets, that's when I was into basketball at the most. I still watch basketball, but back then I was into basketball. I mean, into it. I mean, from going to All-Star Weekend every year to having friends that played in the league who would give me some of the memos that David Stern would send to the players only, and I would get to read what was going on behind the scenes. Memos, Billy Hunter. Billy Hunter was an NBA player rep, union representative at the time. I would get that paperwork and I would see what was going on. And then Jay-Z was talking about in his music, now I get to park in my own arena. He really had niggas thinking he owned any significant part of the New Jersey Nets. So let me give you a little context of the time. The New Jersey Nets at the time had been trying to move to Brooklyn since the 90s. Every time they attempted to move their team from New Jersey to Brooklyn, it was always held up by the city and mostly by the people, the residents of Brooklyn. Like, nah, we don't want y'all here. We do not want y'all here. Keep y'all losing asses in New Jersey was a sentiment of the time. That was a sentiment. We do not want you here. That was what the people were saying. So, Mikhail Prokhorov, Russian billionaire, swooped in to buy the New Jersey Nets, and he called in Jay-Z to be the face of the group. And when Jay-Z got put as the face of the Nets, they made the move to Brooklyn, which subsequently kicked off and went into high drive the gentrification of Brooklyn. So Jay-Z goes and he talks about buying a team in his music and brags to the rest of us about him owning a basketball team. I appreciate the Cash App, B-Key. I appreciate that. Thank you. So Jay-Z goes in and then he kicks off gentrification in Brooklyn, where he so-called grew up. And then a few years later, 2013, 2012, sometime around there, he sold his stake in the team. And when he sold his stake in the team, reports came out that the value he owned within a team that was worth $530 million, his stake was about $350,000. Or the amount of money it would cost to buy a box seat, not even a good box seat, for one season of a game, of an NBA season. Yes, all this bragging and gentrifying he did, this nigga only got $350,000 out of that. $350,000, nigga. The first house I bought when I was 23 years old was $600,000. I was like, nigga, you mean to tell me you did all that bragging and gentrifying for $350K? You sold us off of that chicken change, you camel-faced motherfucker? The people of Brooklyn are now displaced for you to get a fraction of a penny of a squad. Nigga, that's what you was bragging about? You were shitting on your fan base talking about you own a team, 30s, new 20. I'm more mature now because I get to park in my own arena for less than what I spent on my first house as a 23-year-old? Nigga, please. Sheila says smaller than a mustard seed. This, I appreciate the Cash App, Zigzag. I like that name, Zigzag Zigga. I don't smoke zigzags no more. I smoke the raw papers. Zigzags flake too much. Zigzags, when you smoke them, they get real flaky when they burn. You gotta fuck with the raws, Zigzag. But thank you for the Cash App donation. Secure bags, you're right. It don't take much for niggas. This nigga literally kicked off gentrification. He tripled the value of that team because the New Jersey Nets weren't worth shit. When they went to Brooklyn, got that Barclays Arena, and when they got that arena, that's when they made that trade with Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce and Darren Williams, and they thought that they had a super team put together. The team tanked, but they put that team together all off Jay-Z's influence, and this nigga walked away with not even enough money to buy a house in South Central LA. Nigga, you couldn't, the amount of money you made off of what you did to our people, you can't even buy a house off Western and Slauson, nigga? See, this is what Jay-Z does. Let me break down how Jay-Z. Let me break that down. How Jay-Z gets his money. He's a lot like Donald Trump. You know Donald Trump don't own them buildings. The majority, or all of those high-rises that Donald Trump with his name on it, they're owned by Russian investors and Japanese investors. Some China. But for the most part, Russia and Japan. They put the money together. They built the buildings. They paid Donald Trump a licensing fee to use his name. Because his name, before of course, this is before he became president. Before Donald Trump became president, things with his name on it were synonymous with high class and luxury. So groups of Japanese and Russian investors put their money together and build buildings in New York and Florida and other parts of the country and use Donald Trump's name. That's the reason why Donald Trump never had a foothold here in Los Angeles. See, here in Los Angeles, the big boys on the block were former Mayor Richard Riordan, former Lakers owner Jerry Buss, and former Clippers owner Donald Sterling. Those are the big wigs here in LA owning the property. Donald Sterling, people don't even know Donald Sterling is the reason why Jerry Buss was able to buy the Lakers, because Jerry Buss owned a lot of real estate, but he didn't quite have enough money to buy the Lakers in 1979, so he went to Donald Sterling and sold Donald Sterling a few of his properties on Wilshire. And that's what gave Dr. Jerry Buss the money to buy the Lakers from Jack Kent Cooke in 1979. Well, the reason why Donald Trump could never get in here in Los Angeles on Wilshire is because former Mayor Riordan, property owner, he owns basically all of downtown. When you look at Staples Center and all that development going on in downtown LA, that land is owned by former Mayor Richard Riordan. He owned that land before he became mayor of LA. He became mayor of LA in 1992, and he ran saying he's only going to work for $1. And basically what he did was he negotiated that deal in 1996 to bring the Lakers downtown, out of Inglewood to downtown LA. Basically, he became mayor to bring the Lakers to land that he already owned. Well, Donald Sterling, Richard Riordan, and a few other LA billionaires got together to keep Donald Trump out of LA. Keep him out of LA. No, you're not going to bring those Russian and Japanese investors here to this city and throw your name on top of the building. Get your fraudulent ass out of here, Donald Trump. Well, that's kind of what happens with Jay-Z. Whether you're talking about Rock Nation Sports, whether you're talking Tidal, these are companies that were already in existence before Jay-Z. Jay-Z got paid a good amount of money to put his name on these ventures for instant credibility. He gets a few basis points for his worries, and he gets to run around and tell us he's the owner. Like Donald Trump. We knew Donald Trump got exposed through his bankruptcy proceedings. Specifically his last bankruptcy. I think that was 2010, 11, sometime around there. You got to see through Donald Trump's bankruptcy that Japanese investors actually own the name Trump. And that's why Trump didn't have to, that's why you said all these Trump buildings around while he was president, because it's illegal to own all these properties and be president. It's a conflict of interest. But if you never owned the properties, you just have your name on because of a licensing agreement, you can still technically own these lands and be president. I mean, these buildings and be president. So we saw in Donald Trump's last bankruptcy filing that he only owned less than 20% of his name. Trump doesn't even own his name. Fortunately for Jay-Z, he hasn't had to file bankruptcy yet. So at least he still owns his name. But the things that we see that he quote unquote owns, he actually doesn't. Which I'm not tripping off of. I don't care what the motherfucker owns. My problem is when you have these kind of sweetheart deals set up, you come back to the regular Negroes and you come back to the plantation and you brag to the rest of the slaves about the bigger piece of chicken that slave master lets you eat off of. While the rest of us are eating gizzards, eating all kind of bullshit, you come around to the rest of the slaves bragging about what massa gave you. That's my problem. See, when Michael Jackson got on top, and Michael Jackson had way more money than Jay-Z. Michael Jackson actually owned half of Sony's catalog, actually owned it. You didn't hear Michael Jackson coming back to the rest of the Negroes saying, I'm the best. I own my music and everyone else's, so fuck you. Michael Jackson didn't have any music saying, I own the music, and I own you too. You didn't hear that shit. Michael Jackson owned the music and said, here, Sly Stone, let me give you back your catalog. Here, Little Richard, Billy Preston, let me give you back your catalog. And I'm not even gonna put this shit in the news. Niggas gonna have to find out I did this after I died. And I got a nigga that's sitting here bragging about what white society gave him to advance their cause. He's coming back to the plantation shitting on us. Fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Willie Beam said Jay-Z is the ultimate finesser. Dig it. Yes. Hey, B Pax, I knew Pax. I had a feeling you be in this chat room, Paxton. I know Jay-Z be on. I mean, Pax be he been on Beyonce and Jay-Z head for a minute. He one of the main cats on social media that be calling out they bullshit. And people be up in this comment section mad, but they can't say nothing because he right. Yeah, that braggadocious mentality is very destructive. You're right, Kendrick. It's crazy. People really do worship these celebrities. People really do. So what does Jay-Z and Beyonce do with their stardom, their success? What did they do? They took their fame and success and said, vote for Obama. That's what these niggas stood for. Go vote for Obama because they're our friends. Oh, now Obama's done. Oh, now go vote for Hillary. Black folks been saying we not fucking with Hillary because Hillary supported mass incarceration of black people. She called us super predators. She's been a thorn in the side of black society her whole political career. She called herself a Goldwater girl, and everyone knows who Goldwater is. This is the motherfucker that came up with this whole Southern strategy of being racist without being racist, without sounding like you're being racist. That's who she looked up to. And Jay-Z came, ignore all that, vote for her because I'm Hove. Beyonce said, vote for Hillary because I can dance good. Yes, this choreography is stolen, but listen to me anyway. You're right, the Clintons destroyed Haiti. Still destroying Haiti to this day. Jay and Bay say, no, ignore all that. Vote for them anyway because they're our friends. Are these two leaders or misleaders? Icons or opportunists? We got to ask these questions. Because one thing about us as adults, one thing we as a people, and it's part of the reason why I do these programs, I would like you to share these to your children in spite of my cussing, because your children are dealing with far more dangerous agendas within the school. They can handle my cussing. I promise you. They can handle it. They're bringing in transsexuals to read to elementary school level kids. Your children can handle my cursing. They can handle it. We got to tell the truth. We got to talk to the children. We can't just assume the children know. Because one of the mistakes that we made as a people is we don't communicate to the next generation. Overall, you have some exceptions here and there, but overall, we as a people, we do not communicate important information to the next generation. We do a good job of trying to shield them from what society's doing. Let them be innocent, but you live in a society that won't let your children be innocent. So they're attacking your children's brains day and night, left and right, through the school system, through the TV commercials, through the cartoons, through the music. And we as a people have a culture of not explaining these things to our children. We got to talk to the children, explain these things to them. And not just the children. Hell, if you 40, explain it to the 20-year-olds. If you 30, break it down to the 17-year-old, 15-year-old. If you 50, break some of what you went down to the 40-year-olds. We got to start talking to one another again and comparing notes. I'm saying, you're right. He said black folks be like, oh, by the way, grandpa owned half the city. Yeah. We got to talk to one another. When black adults talk to black youth, generally it's in the form of criticism. Are we good at criticizing the kids? Oh, your music ain't as good as our music. Oh, you don't dress as good as the way we dressed. Man, y'all don't know what it's like to play outside. Y'all need to go outside. Niggas got 1,001 words to the youngsters about what they ain't doing right and about how my generation was better than your generation. But ain't nobody trying to sit down with the youth and understand where they coming from. Understand the world that they see. And compare notes. We as a people, we've been fucked over in a lot of ways. Instead of shitting on the kids and telling them why they're wrong, why our music is better, why we dress better, and all this other shit, we need to be comparing notes. That's why I be so big on, look, don't be sending your kids to college without a plan. My generation, the millennials, we made that mistake, so Generation Z ain't got to. All these millennials running around with college degrees, yet we got the hood gentrified right from under our fucking feet. There's more college degrees in millennial society than there is home ownership. We got to ask why these things happened. And as we get answers as to why these things happened, communicate that to the next generation coming up so they don't make the same mistakes. I'm using Jay-Z and Beyonce as an example because they were the icons, quote unquote, of my millennial generation. They both came out when I was in high school. Well, Jay-Z older has been around a lot longer than that. Jay-Z just wasn't relevant. Jay-Z was around during the age of Tupac and Biggie and X-Clan and the Brand Nubians and the golden age of hip hop. The nigga just wasn't relevant. He didn't get relevant until those top hip hop acts of the 90s didn't get re-signed because the music industry went through that shuffle in 92, 93 where they purposely took the consciousness out of hip hop and replaced it with the bullshit. Jay-Z couldn't swim back when true hip hop, back when hip hop was being represented by the streets, back when the streets said what was hot and what was not. Jay-Z was average than a motherfucker, trying to sound like Memphis Bleak. Oh, did I go there? Did I go there? My bad. Jay-Z was just another rapper trying to dress like Jaz-O. Jay-Z, Jaz-O, from Brooklyn. See, that's who Jay-Z was trying to be. Wasn't nobody fucking with him. It took Tupac and Biggie dying and then the music industry bringing in that early 2000s fake ass bling era. No, Jay-Z did not burst on the scene with Reasonable Doubt in 95. Reasonable Doubt came out and everybody said, all right, let's go ahead and put this Tupac back in. Let's go ahead and put this Biggie back in. I was around in 95. You can't rewrite history to me. People went back. When Jay-Z got hella popular in 2002, 2001, when he was on top then, people went back to Reasonable Doubt and said, oh, this was pretty dope. But when it came out in 96, nobody fucking with that. That's revisionist history. Yeah, 96. I said 95, 96. Yeah. When Biggie died, Jay-Z took all his rhymes and rapped over established West Coast beats. When you have a combination of an established hook that someone else already made a hit, combined with an established beat that's already been a hit, and you add basically words on top of that in the style Memphis Bleak would have rapped it, you have a guaranteed hit. You brought up my Cash Money Hill, but before Cash Money, there was Bad Boy. Trash, garbage rap really came in with Bad Boy. That sorry ass P. Diddy. That should do it. He's another one that should be a part of this. Matter of fact, let's make P. Diddy a part of this conversation. Puff Daddy, a nigga who all of his music came from. He didn't even have the decency to mix up the remakes. He just took the exact tempo, the exact song, and said, Mace, go and rap on top of this. I'm coming out. You just took that whole song, right? You're just gonna rap on. You're just gonna take Rise by Herb Alpert and say, hey, Biggie. Now I love Hypnotize. But Rise did that beat first by Herb Alpert. Do, 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 do. Boom, 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 boom. That's Herb Alpert. This nigga Puffy said, stop worrying about your problems, black people. It's all about the Benjamins. That's what it's about. And I got to see the shit change right in front of me. Because again, this is all going through high school. I appreciate the Cash App star. I appreciate it. Puffy came in because remember Jay-Z was trying to be a drug dealer, and then Puffy came in with his bullshit, superficial, spend all your money, life, be a degenerate in life, bullshit ass music. Cash Money came in and bigger and made it bigger, and then Jay-Z said, "Oh, that's the wave. I'm jumping on that now." I remember in high school, niggas who's lived in apartments with their mama. You got two brothers and sisters in a 2-bedroom apartment in Inglewood going around rapping money ain't a thing. Nigga, but you catch the bus to school. Is that really what you need to be hearing as a 16-year-old? Money ain't a thing? When your parents don't own any real estate, you renting and catching a bus? Is that what you telling my people, Diddy, to do? What? James Brown said, put up the factory and own the job. People, we got to get over before we go under. That's what James Brown told us. Put up a factory and own the job. The whole Diddy, Cash Money, Jay-Z era said money ain't a thing. Now go buy these 49-inch rims. Go get the baddest bitch you can find and pop bottles. And guess what? That's exactly what my generation did. So are these people iconic? Yeah, they are. It's a little bit of both. They are, Jay-Z, they are iconic. But are they iconic in a good way? Did their icon status lead us to a positive end? Or did they use their iconic status to lead us to a destructive end? Self-destructive end. Because I saw people, I remember how it was, man. Look, you know, I'm LA, I Westchester High School, Fashion Central. Those of us who from LA, you know Westchester High. And if you ain't from LA, you know Westchester High. If you watch the NBA, they had like 25 niggas in the league that got to the league over the last 20 years. Over the last 25 years, at least 25 players have gotten to the league. But it was all about flossing with us in the 2000s, during my 20s. During my 20s, during the 2000s, it was all about what size your rims were, how did you dress, how did things look. And I worked at the bank during this time, and I worked in lending. And when them interest rates got low, I saw people get houses inherited from their parents, grandparents, pull the equity out those homes to live a bad boy Jay-Z lifestyle for 2 years. Get the car, use that equity to buy some dope clothes and go on vacations. Then when them interest rates readjusted and the housing market crashed in 2008, we saw the biggest wealth transfer in American history from under black society. Between 2008 and 2011, we went from owning the majority of the hood nationwide to being renters in the same neighborhoods we grew up in, or even worse than that, not being able to even afford to rent in the neighborhoods that were called the ghetto back in the 80s and 90s. Now we can't even afford to live there. And so many black people had to move far, far, far out. Especially here in LA, moving to Moreno Valley and Palmdale, and Apple Valley. Because when we owned the hood, the music we were listening to was telling us money ain't a thing. And to spend it like it grows on trees. Without teaching us how to reinvest what we have to be as wealthy and rich as those singing the music bragging about being wealthy and rich. That's the cultural legacy of Jay-Z. The cultural legacy of Beyonce is, what can I get off my man? Get a man that can get something good for me. Do something for me. She ain't never talked about working on herself and being the best woman she can be to attract the best man that she can have. She just said, look good, dress good, and kick these niggas to the curb while she held on to her man. Jay-Z taught us to love them and to basically to fuck them and leave them. He didn't write anything about the inner beauty of a woman the way Smokey Robinson did for the baby boomers. Smokey Robinson wrote music. He has a song called Fork in the Road, talking about the dangers of love and how to circumvent that. He wrote a song called oh man, what's it? It's on the tip of my motherfucking tongue. God damn it, Dwan. Don't you hate when you have something on the tip of your tongue and can't get it out? What's that Smokey Robinson song that I was about to tell y'all about? God damn it. I hate when this happens. I hate when this happens. Let me see here. I hate when this happens. Here I Go Again. That's one of my favorite Smokey Robinson songs. Here I go again, walking into love. Not thinking of the dangers that might exist. Disregarding all of this just for you. That song was about getting back with somebody that you previously broke up with. Knowing you ain't doing it right. Knowing good in the hell well this bitch is bad for you. And I didn't mean to use the word bitch, but y'all said it for a reason because you be like, oh, she ain't no good. But God damn it, I can't resist the urge to go back. Smokey Robinson wrote music to talk about these life situations. Barry White wrote about how to love a woman. Jay-Z lies about being a drug dealer. Or he may have dealt drugs on a small level. He's lying about the level that he dealt drugs. Meanwhile, Barry White was a South Park gangster here in LA. He got known, he had a reputation around town for breaking in and stealing Cadillacs and Cadillac hubcaps. But he wrote about love. Nigga, ain't no hip hop artist on earth tougher than Chico DeBarge. Them damn DeBarges always in and out of jail, especially Chico. But he still got time to talk about all this love is waiting for you. Black music traditionally has never allowed the circumstances to dictate our relationships with one another, with our women, and with our fellow brethren. In spite of what went on, we always had messages of love, encouragement, staying together, caring about one another, lifting up one another. While the icons of my millennial generation told us that a man is only good for paying bills and to break up whenever he starts tripping. And Jay-Z told us that basically the women are only good for one thing. And by the way, go spend your money on a whole bunch of shit that to impress a whole bunch of people that you don't like. That's why we're talking about this here. Because the kids see us uplifting two people that they're not too familiar with the music because, of course, they weren't born when these people were making their best music. So they basically only go off what we say. What I'm saying is we need to communicate. We need to see as a people where we went wrong and what we need to do to correct it. And who were the players involved in misleading us. And snatch all credibility from those people. who built a career off misleading us. That's what we got to do. That's what we need to do. Hell yeah, Herb St. Mastro was a gangster. I remember a story my father-in-law told me about Barry White. He recorded a few. He used to record sessions with Barry White back in Barry White's early days. He said Barry White used to keep a gun on his ass. Barry White kept that thing on him. And if you didn't want to do what Barry White told you to do in that studio, Barry White pulled that thing on you. And then turned around to create some of the most lush, beautiful music ever created with his 72% piece orchestra. Do y'all know Barry White created disco? The first song credited as a disco song is "Love's Theme" by the Love Unlimited Orchestra. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Man, listen to Love's Theme. You feel like you gotta wear a tuxedo to listen to that. I listened to Love Theme on my couch, nigga. I went and put a suit and tie on just to hear that whole song. Barry White was a gangster. But when it came to his music, he sang about love. Because love is what's going to keep us together. Love is how we going to get through this. Love is how black folks, the love of family, the love of self, the love of who we are as a culture, that's what's going to get us through all of our bullshit that we dealing with. Not love of things. Barry White taught us to love ourselves and to love one another. Roy Ayers had a song called Red, Black, and Green. If you think about it, you know what I mean. Man, shit, I can go down a line. In spite of who you were outside the music studio, when it came time to lay the music down, Rick James was a partying motherfucker. Rick James was an ignorant nigga. I love Rick James, but Rick James was ignorant. Way more ignorant than most of these rappers. And yes, he wrote about super freaks. But he also wrote Ebony Eyes, a dedication to black women, in a duet he sung with Smokey Robinson. That song was a love letter to black women in response to black women saying that, hey, well, I already see you with white women. What's up with that? So Rick James wrote Ebony Eyes as a love letter to black women. Lips so soft and tender, ready to speak. Her voice says I love you and is making me weak. Ooh. Back when men used to sing to the women because we valued our women. How did we go from that to fuck them and leave them? Rick James was more gangster than Jay-Z, and he didn't even say that. Go pull up Mr. Policeman by Rick James. I appreciate the Cash App, Stewart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all been hitting my Cash App up today, man. I thank y'all for that. Thank y'all for that. You're right. Rick James spoke out against racist MTV. Yeah, Barry White had them hands. I mean, we as black people, we invented all the great music of the world. And we still do. So I personally reverence the people who not only can make great music, but the music is original and a portion of it speaks to what we're going through. It doesn't have to be every song. So I want to take this time to send love to the Queen, Jill Scott. Wake Up Baby. People forget that song, Do You Remember Me? Do you remember me? She was reminding the brothers of who the black women really are. We at the family reunion. Living my life like it's golden. My petition, written during the Bush years, when Bush wasn't giving a fuck about the Constitution. Jill Scott wrote Watching Me. Watching me, watching me. Well, that actually came out during Clinton. Salute to the Queen, Erykah Badu. Reminding us who we are on a spiritual level. Out my mind just in time. Reminding us who we are. 360. Taking us back to our ancient spirituality and knowledge. Salute to Nas. Salute to the King, Kendrick Lamar. Hey, that's a good comment, Rod J. They say men don't express their emotions. What the hell? Not if you listen to our music. Men, we do express our emotions. When our the problem is lately, niggas have gotten more into freestyling and battle rap and who your top five than serenading your woman. Salute to Anderson .Paak. Soon as the coronavirus hit, he came out with that song Lockdown. Keeping the live soul sound alive through Anderson .Paak. Salute to the King, Robert Glasper, and the Robert Glasper Experiment. Black Radio 1 and 2. Bringing in Lettucey, Layla Hathaway, and our dope, beautiful, soulful singers singing over live music with messages as to what's going on today. Our soul music is still alive. It's just not on radio anymore. It's not pushed through the mainstream channels anymore. Salute to Maxwell for keeping love music around. Serenading our women. Letting our women know how special they are through music. Salute to Corey Henry. His newest album is dope. Please don't forget what you're fighting for. Don't forget what you're living for. That song came out just last year. Go and look up Corey Henry, his newest album. Don't forget. I love that song. Our music is still here. It's still around. But we got to give love and support to those who put it out there. And we need to call out those who have the iconic status and don't use it for anything but to push their own personal agenda. Praise to Shaka Khan, the queen. She changed her name to Shaka Khan out of militancy. Shaka Khan was a Black Panther. Rod J say you have a greater appreciation for jazz now as you're getting older. Yeah. I love about jazz. And that's why I encourage you guys. I have a playlist. I have my funk soul playlist on Spotify. Incense and Ashtrays. The link is in the description bar. On my link tree. And coming hopefully, I've been so busy, but hopefully today or tomorrow, sometime this weekend, I'm going to put together my soul jazz list. I'm going to have 2 lists. Right now, I got my funk soul list, bringing back that original funk and soul, pointing you where to go, what the real music is. I'm also coming out with my soul jazz list, and the jazz soul. The jazz soul playlist is basically going to be music from the 90s through now. My funk soul is from the 60s through the 80s. My soul jazz is from the 90s through now, a mixture of soul music and jazz. But some of the jazz goes back to the 60s with Oscar Peterson. But it's a mixture of jazz and soul music. Because I'm not just here to tell you and complain about. I want to put out what's fun. I am putting out there where we went right with our music and where we continue to go right with our music. Because it's not enough to complain and say what's wrong. We got to talk about what's right. And we got to give love to what's right. We got to give attention to what's right. If I sound too loud in the mic, then turn your fucking volume down, Jonathan F. It's that simple. God damn. That's why I'll be looking at the chat room that much when I be talking. Okay, secure bags. I'll give you that. You said J. Cole. Look, J. Cole he's a god. Me personally, I'm not the biggest J. Cole fan because the nigga's music put me to sleep. I have like a running joke with J. Cole's music. Like J. Cole's music is the cure for insomnia. I'm sorry, his music is just boring to me. But I'm not going to separate that from the fact that the brother makes great music. He makes music. He does music the right way. See, I'm mature enough to say, hey, I don't prefer this particular artist's style of music. But I understand what they're doing and I see what it is. I understand what J. Cole is doing. I appreciate what J. Cole is doing. Music is better off because J. Cole is around. I don't listen to the motherfucker because he's boring to me. Anytime J. Cole come on, out of nowhere, I just start yawning. That's what J. Cole's music does to me. I am not a fan of J. Cole's music, but I respect his music and I think his music is great. I think J. Cole puts out music that's lyrically sophisticated, lyrically what we need to hear, but the nigga's boring. I remember when he was in the dunk at All-Star Weekend. Remember when All-Star Weekend was in Charlotte? And J. Cole was out there on the basketball court during the dunk contest? It's like the minute J. Cole walked onto the court, he didn't even say a word. I just started yawning. The nigga just looked boring. That was my first time getting sleepy during a dunk contest. Was when J. Cole was participating in the dunk contest. I ain't never yawned in the NBA All-Star Weekend dunk contest until J. Cole stepped onto the court. But that's my own personal thing. I separate that from the man's artistry. Salute to brother Duncan Penderhughes, great music producer on Craig Facts. He puts music together the right way. Shouts out to Charlie Burrell. I'm going to interview Charlie on Incense and Ashtrays, hopefully next week if our schedules can match. Charlie is a music genius. He's been behind some of Raphael Sadiq's hits. BJ, some different artists that you love. Charlie Burrell is a musician that keeps the sound moving forward. Shouts out to J-Mo, Jarris Mosey. Y'all saw my interview with him. The man behind some of Anthony Hamilton's hits. Prince. Jill Scott. J-Mo's done so much good in music. The great artists are still here. They're still around. They're still relevant. Shouts out to the internet. Keeping bands alive. Thundercat. The whole West Coast Get Down. Terrace Martin. Kamasi Washington on the jazz side of the game. Salute to these kings. These future icons. Salute to Adrian Young. His whole album that just came out is about the times that we're dealing with right now. Download some Adrian Young. The American Negro was his newest album. And download his albums that he do with Ali Shaheed Muhammad. They had a great collab last year with Roy Ayers. The good music is still here, folks. Good music has not gone anywhere. Good music is still here. We just have to make sure that we play it. Salute to We Are King. Brandon Williams, another one. I love Brandon Williams. Salute to Brandon Williams. He does it right. Salute to Yasmin Lacey, a sister out of the UK. Beautiful voice. Beautiful music. Salute to Alex Isley, Ernie Isley's daughter. Beautiful music. Salute to Elena Penderhughes. She plays the flute. And she plays the flute while she stays dressed. Unlike Lizzo. Damn a Lizzo, but I fucks with Elena Penderhughes if I want to hear the flute being played right. Salute to Phony People. Salute to Fonte. Salute to Knowledge. Andy Allo. Yusef Kamal. We still have great artists out there who are doing it. So we can't sit around and say all Fly Low. That's another good one. Flying Lotus. Man, Flying Lotus and Thundercat are at the Hollywood Bowl June 12th, and I can't go because That show was only for people who are essential workers. Man, Hollywood Bowl, open them tickets up, man. But I do have tickets to see Lettucey. Lettucey performs Nina Simone. Who is the Nina Simone of our generation? I almost forgot to shout out and salute to Nina Simone. I got concerts to a ticket. I got my box seats to see Lettucey sings Nina Simone later this summer. I also got tickets to see Kool in the Gang. And I also got tickets to see Sergio Mendes. I like music from around the world. You dig it? This is going to be my 5th time seeing Sergio Mendes live. You got to give them their flowers while they're alive. Yeah, I said Kamasi already. I love Kamasi, man. I played the drums with that cat a couple times at my church back when we was in high school. His dad, his brothers was brothers with the organ player in my church, so his dad would come a lot, Ricky. But he came a couple times, Kamasi himself. And I knew he was going to be a star back then. Beautiful sound on that saxophone. Ryan Porter on the trombone. Cameron Graves on the piano. Cameron Graves is going to be the Chick Corea of my generation. Good music is here. And it's here to stay. We just need to appreciate it while calling out the people that we've given so much love. Black society has given a lot of love to Jay-Z and Beyonce. Black society has given so much to these two. What of substance? Let me ask that again. What of substance have they given us back in return? What of substance has these two given us in return? I just gave you a long list of artists, some bigger than them, some not quite as big as them, who've paid it forward and returned to us messages of love, light, and encouragement. All I'm asking is that the so-called top 2 for the millennial generation do the same. Is that too much to ask? Enter the code FUNK1 for all you musicians and producers out there that look for live drum samples. I got that for you. Link is in my bio, in my link tree. Type in the coupon code FUNK1 and get 20% off my live drum sample packs. FUNK1. You're right, Deidre. Christian Scott, Atunde. Hell yeah. Christian Scott's another great one. Yep. Get my live drum sample packs. Get my... To my book, No Time to Waste. This is going to be invite-only webinar. A free follow-up to those who purchase my webinar, we're going to break down even more what you've learned over the last 2 weeks about yourself, your career path, and how to dig deeper and get more accurate into it. My calendar should be up pretty soon. I'm open now for bookings. 15-minute intervals for those. A lot of times people have questions that they want from me, answered from me. And I created a time to answer those type questions for a small donation fee for my time, because I'm a busy motherfucker. Can't get me for free. I got too much going on in life. But I do have a book now section that will be on my website, so we can talk and chop it up. Relationship coaching, communication counseling, all that's in my book. Look it up. I'm here to help solve the problems of the day. And I'm going to have more music interviews coming up pretty soon. I can't forget India, Irie, and Angie Stone. Thank you, Ian. I can't forget those two queens. Remember this: there are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those who are willing to pick up the game. Let's talk to the kids, the youth. Tell them what we did right and show them where we went wrong, so they can be better than we are. Oh yeah, Vegas. Thank you, Sebastian Shaw, for getting them tickets. Vegas on the 22nd, next Saturday. Craig Fax will be a live stand-up show. Me, Craig Smith, Big Jai, Ken Edwin, Doughboy, Charlie Newhart. We will be on stage cracking them jokes for your ass. So if you're in Vegas, the tickets are almost sold out. Get your ticket and reserve your seat now. Next Saturday, May 22nd. My name is Dwan B. We out.